Good morning children, this is English video session for class 10. We are now going to do the book First Flight, chapter number 9, Madam Rides the Bus. This story is written by Valli Kannan and it is about a sensitive story. It's a very sensitive story about an 8-year-old girl. First bus journey into the world outside her village and also her induction into the mystery of life and death. She sees the gap between our knowing that there is death and our understanding of it. Okay, so she is now getting into a bus. First time she is getting into a bus. Okay, she is 8-year-old. What happens? How did she understand the mystery between life and death through this? Set of passengers is get into the bus, get off from the bus. These are all some of the phrases which we have. Ticket please, a row of seat, blowing a whistle. These are the very common thing when you enter into a bus. Roar and rattle, slow down, etc. So when you are crossing the river, when you are crossing the bus, you speak all these things. Rivers, roadside shops, moving trains, crowd, green field, marketplace, vehicles, clothes in the shop, hills, railway tracks, trees, animals. These are the things which you usually see. Now let's get into the story part of it. Look at the girl. She's standing, an 8-year-old girl. Yes, she's seeing the bus which is going outside her house. She's standing near her entrance and see. Let's see. There was a girl named Valli Ammal who was called Valli for short. She was 8-year-old and very curious about things. Her favorite pastime was standing in front of the doorway of her house, watching what is happening on the street outside. There were no playmates for her of her own age on her street, and this was all about she had to do. And but for Valli, standing in front of the door was every bit of as enjoyable as any of the elaborate games other children played. Watching the streets gave her many new, unusual experiences. So let's see what happens next. The most fascinating thing of all was the bus that travelled between her village and the nearest town. It passed through her street each hour, once going to the town and once coming back. The sight of the bus, filled each time with a new set of passengers, was a source of unending joy for Valli. Day after day, she watched the bus, and gradually a tiny wish crept into her head at once. Even if and she grew there. She wanted to ride on that bus even if just once. This wish became stronger and stronger until it was overwhelming desire. Varley would stare wistfully at the people who got on and off the bus when it stopped at the street corner. Their faces would kindle on her longings, dreams, hopes. If one of her friends happened to ride the bus and tried to describe the sight of the town to her, Valli would be too jealous to listen and would shout in English, proud, proud. Neither she nor her friends really understood the meaning of the word, but they used it as often as a slang expression of disapproval. Over many days and months, Valli listened carefully to the conversations between her neighbors and the people who regularly used the bus, and she also asked a few discreet questions here and there. This way, she picked up various small details about the bus journey. The town was 6 miles from her village, and the fare was 30 paise on way, which is almost nothing at all. She heard one well-dressed man say, okay, one well-dressed man say, but to Valli, who scarcely saw that much money from one month to the next, it seemed a fortune. The trip to the town took 45 minutes. On reaching the town, if she stayed in her seat and paid another 30 paise, she would return back on the same bus. This meant that she could take the 1 o'clock afternoon bus, reach the town at 1:40 and be back at 2:45. On and on went her thoughts, and she calculated and recalculated, planned and replanned. Okay, so this is the story. Now has she made her planning? Yes. Now let's see what her planning, does her planning work or not. Well, one fine spring day, the afternoon, bus was just on the point of leaving the village and the turning into a main highway when the small voice was heard shouting, "Stop the bus, stop the bus!" And the tiny hands were raised commandingly. The bus slowed down to crawl, and the conductor, sticking his head out of the window, "Hurry then, tell whoever it is to come quickly." "It's me," shouted Valli. I am one who has to get on. But now the bus has become to a stop. And the conductor, oh really? You don't say so. Yes, I simply have to go to the town, said Valli, still standing outside the bus. And here is my money. She showed him some coins. Okay, okay, but first you must get on to the bus, said the conductor, and he stretched the hand to help her. Never mind, she said. I can get to myself. You don't have to help me. The conductor was a jolly sort, fond of looking. Okay, please don't be angry with me, my fine madam, he said. Here, have a seat right up there is in front. Everyone move aside, please. Make way for madam. It was a slack time of the day and there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. They were all looking at Valli and laughing with the conductor. Valli was overcome with shyness, avoiding everyone's eyes. She walked quickly to an empty seat and sat down. So now she's the first. See the picture. Valli seated, the conductor giving him her tickets, the other passengers laughing at the conversation that is going on between the conductor and the Valli. Okay, now let's continue. Yes. May we start the bus now, madam? The conductor asked, smiling. Then he blew her whistle twice and the bus started moving forward with a roar. It was a new bus, its outside painted a gleaming white with some green stripes along the sides. Inside, an overhead bar shone like silver. Directly in front of Valli, above the windshield, there was a beautiful clock. The seats were soft and luxurious. Valli devoured everything with her eyes. But when she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by the canvas blind but covered the lower part of her window. She stood up on the seat and peered over the blind. The bus was now going along the bank of the canal. The road was now very narrow. On one side there was the canal, and beyond it palm trees, grassland, distant mountains, blue sky. On the other side, deep ditch. Then acres and acres of green field, green, as far as the eye could see. Oh, it was all so wonderful. Suddenly she heard a voice. Listen, child, said the voice. You shouldn't stand like this. Sit down. Okay. Sitting down, she looked to see who had spoken. It was an elderly man who had honestly been concerned for her. But she was annoyed by his attention. There is nobody here who is a child, she said haughtily. I have paid my 30 paise like everyone else. The conductor chimed in. Oh, sir, but this is a very grown up madam. Do you think a mere girl could pay her own fare and travel to the city alone? Valli shot an angry glance at the conductor and said, I am not a madam. Please remember that. And you have not given me my ticket. I'll remember, the conductor said, mimicking her tone. Everyone laughed and gradually Valli too joined to the laughter. The conductor punched the ticket and handed it to her. Just sit back and make yourself comfortable. Why should you stand? But you have paid for a seat. Because I want to, she answered, standing up again. But if you stand in the seat, you may fall and get hurt yourself when the bus makes a sharp turn and hits a bump. That is why we want you to sit down, child. I am not a child, I'll tell you. She said irritably. I am 8 years old. Of course. How stupid of me. 8 years. My goodness. The bus stopped. Some new passengers got in. The conductor got busy for a time, afraid of losing her seat. Valli finally sat down. An elderly woman came and sat beside her. Are you all alone, dear? She asked Valli as the bus started. Valli found the woman absolutely repulsive. Repulsive? Dislike, hating. Such big holes in her earlobes, such ugly earrings in them, so she could smell the betel nuts of the women was chewing, and she see the betel juice that was threatening to spill over her lips at any moment. Ah, she would. Who could be a sociable such person? Yes, I am traveling around, she said curtly, and I have got my ticket too. Yes, she has. She is on her way to the town, said the conductor, with a 30 paise ticket. Oh, why don't you mind your own business, said Valli. But she laughed all the time, and the conductor laughed too. But the old woman went on to her driver. Is it proper for such young persons to travel alone? Do you know exactly where you are going in the town? What's the street? What is the house number? You needn't bother about me. I can take care of myself, Valli said, turning her face towards the window and staring out. Her first journey. What was careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it, and she had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like. Finally, she had saved a total of 60 paise. How difficult it had been, particularly the day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled at the village fair and stifled a strong desire to ride merry-go-round even though she had the money and she had enough money saved. Her next problem was to how to slip the house without her mother's knowledge, but she managed this without too much difficulty. Each day after lunch her mother would nap for about 1 to 4 or so. Wally always used these hours for her excursions, and she stood looking from the doorway of a house, or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today, these same hours could be used for a first excursion outside the village. Children, see the bus, you can see the cows running, all these things, and she's seated near the window of the bus and seeing things outside. Okay. The bus rolled down and now cutting across the bare landscape, now rushing through the tiny hamlet or past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed to on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them on a pedestrian crossing the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there, helpless for the moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. Suddenly, Valli clapped her hands with a glee, a young cow tail high in the air and running very fast right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to crawl. The driver sounded his horn loudly and loudly again. But more and more he got the bus more frightened the animal was became, and faster it galloped it away, always right in front of the bus. See the way? Yes, how the cow is running before the bus. Yes, I stopped with these children. Let's continue with the same class, same lesson tomorrow. Okay. Please read the topic at least 3 to 4 times and come. Otherwise, the explanation will be of no use. Thank you, children.